Hello, class. My name is Aaliyah Janiyah Brown, and this is my slideshow presentation on the impacts of Marbury v. Madison, 1803. How Marbury v. Madison affects us in today's society is solely due to the fact that it is an important decision because it established judicial review as a power in order for courts to invalidate laws through the constitutional interpretation. However, at the time, there was critics like former President Thomas Jefferson who viewed the decision as an overreach of power established by the courts, specifically because it involved a politically charged situation where the court essentially denied a commission to the Federalist appointee, leading to some initial resistance to the ruling's full implications. How was our government different before the case? Before Marbury v. Madison, the judicial branch maintained its status as the least powerful branch of the federal government. The legislative and executive branches had more unchecked power, as there was no precedent for reviewing the constitutionality of their actions. The courts primarily resolved disputes, but lacked the authority to challenge the congressional aides. Many viewed the Constitution as a guiding document rather than an enforceable legal framework as we do today. The case clarified the judiciary's role as a co-equal branch of government, reinforcing the system as we know as checks and balances. Some significant aspects of the case include the establishment of judicial review. Chief Justice John Marshall had an opinion, and he clearly stated that the courts must interpret the law and determine its constitutionality. This set the precedent for judicial review, a power now held by federal and state courts. Another aspect would be the limitation of government power. The ruling affirmed that no law or government action can violate the Constitution, ensuring that the judicial branch safeguards against laws that are deemed unconstitutional. It also strengthened the Supreme Court's role due to, before the case, the Supreme Court was not looked at as a significant force in shaping natural policy. After the final ruling, it became a crucial interpreter for the law. How does the decision impact our lives today? Well, Marbury v. Madison established protecting civil rights and liberties within judicial review, which has been used to strike down laws that violate our fundamental rights. For example, in Brown v. Board of Education, 1954, used judicial review in order to end racial segregation within schools. And in Hodges, 2015, ensured same-sex marriage rights by striking down bans is unconstitutional. It also prevented government overreach. The Supreme Court can now check executive and legislative actions, ensuring that the government decisions comply within the Constitution. It also helps shape public policy. Court rulings influence laws related to healthcare, our voting rights, free speech, and more. It includes Roe v. Wade in 1973, which overturned in 2022, which previously established the right to abortions, as well as Citizens United versus FEC 2010, which impacted campaign finance laws. These rulings wouldn't have the same legal authority without judicial review being in place to safeguard these. One aspect to change for the 21st century. While Marbury v. Madison remains essential in our society, one aspect that could be modernized is the accountability for judicial review. Potential reform, which would equal greater transparency in Supreme Court decisions. The Supreme Court justices are not yet elected, but their rulings will soon impact millions. The lack of term limits means justices serve for life, leading to concerns about the fairness and their political influence as far as their decisions. Some suggest public oversight measures, such as live stream court proceedings or requiring ethical codes for justices to make judicial decisions to reflect modern democratic values, while maintaining Marbury v. Madison's core principle, which can strengthen the trust throughout the courts. Marbury versus the judiciary system developed into a forceful division that defended fundamental rights while placing boundaries on government control through Madison's leadership. Despite its importance, the case is a product of its time. While judicial review is essential, as I stated on the last slide, the way it functions today could benefit from modernization, which includes transparency and more accountability. The Supreme Court decisions have very immense societal impacts, yet justices serve lifetime appointments with little direct accountability. As well as the public trust, in recent years there has been a growing concern over partisanship and ethical considerations within the judiciary. Establishing clear judicial ethics, standards increasing transparency in decision making, and possibly introducing term limits can strengthen public confidence throughout the court system. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.